Hello, my spooky little friends, and welcome to my channel, Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. Can you believe we're more than halfway to Halloween? I can't either, but I'm so excited about it, and I am excited to be part of this collaboration with my dear friends, Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling and Monica of Up All Night DIY, because it's always Halloween for those of us who really truly love the holiday. Now, let's see what spooky things I've come up with for this summertime. Today I'm getting into something that I always thought was a little spooky, a little scary, and I actually get to wear a mask. That's right, I'm going to be working with resin today, and I am working with Let's Resin. I got this wonderful mushroom mold, and I wanted to try it out with my Fast Cure resin, or I should say Let's Resin Fast Cure resin. It cures in 4 hours, but what's wonderful about it is that it's clear. I know you've seen faster curings before with other resins, but this cures absolutely crystal clear, and I was so excited because I always think that there's a Fast Cure resin. I always think that mushrooms are a little witchy and like cottagey, witchy kind of things. So I wanted to test it out and try it out. Now, I've used other molds from Let's Resin before. I have a skull mold and a pumpkin mold, so I will be using that as we get closer to the season, but I did use them last year. They were fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So here, as you can see, I heated up the resin. You have part A, part B, and I like to put them in together at the same time so that you're sure that you're mixing them well together. And the trick with clear resin is to take your time. Slowly mix. Don't agitate it. Don't get bubbles in it. Same thing is if you're adding any kind of dyes, you use dyes that are specific to the resin that you're using, which is the dye that I'm using here. So I'm using red, and again, slowly blending the color in, letting it sit for a while. The same for the other colors. So I have red for the top and a light brown for the bottom. It's a light honey colored brown. I like it very, very much. And again, this is for my little cottage core witch. And I know it's not that spooky, but it kind of is. I don't know. I like it. So I just wanted to share my little mushroom making with you guys. So all you do is fill the molds just as you would. This is the fastest, easiest way to get comfortable with resin if you haven't used this kind of resin before. And again, I caution you, please wear gloves and please work in a well-ventilated area with a mask. Now, look at this. I just unmolded this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful and not a bubble in sight. I'm so happy to say not a bubble in sight. Look at the red is a deep, dark red. And now, of course, we have to add little spots on my mushroom. What kind of mushroom is this? Does anybody know the name of the mushroom that's red with the white dots? I know it's not good to eat. I know it's poisonous from what I understand. Let me know if that's true or not. So here I'm using UV resin. Now UV resin, that cures within seconds. So here you have to use a UV light, which is safe to use, don't worry about it. And you just cure it, and it takes around 60 seconds to cure. As you can see here, I have my little UV light. If you use gel nail polish, you probably already have a UV light. Just make sure that it's strong enough for the curing. So here I am finishing up the curing of my little mushroom mold, and I think it turned out so very cute. And I'll have to make some items to put in my little mushroom jewelry box. I think that's what I'll use it for. I'll use it as my little Halloween jewelry box this season. So although resin isn't new out there in YouTube, it's new to me. So I want to also introduce a new segment I like to call Someone Made Me Do It. And in this case, it was Daniel Cooper. He gave me the confidence by watching his videos to really get into resin art. And he is a resin artist that is amazing. So check out his channel. I'll have his link in the description down below. But yes, I want to be inspired by other creators. So I will be sharing my Made Me Do It series with you now and then. So with this resin art, I am actually creating a little resin ghost. And what I did was I covered the end of a paintbrush with some saran wrap. That's all it is. And using a stiff paintbrush that I have here, I am literally painting the the saran wrap with white resin. And the way I made it white is I literally added just some dye drops of white into the clear resin. And there you see the result. It hardens up as you're putting it into the UV light. Now, every time I turn on the UV light, I try to move that little pot of resin because I don't want it to get hardened by the UV light right next to it. So after a couple of passes of the resin, I just keep building up the layers of this little ghost, and there you see the result. Isn't that adorable? Because of course, if I have a little mushroom jewelry box for my Halloween jewelry this season, I should make myself some earrings, don't you think? And I think these will turn out so adorable and so fast and easy to make for like pennies, literally pennies. A little bit of your time, a lot of ingenuity, and just so much fun to make. So here I'm just removing the resin ghost from the saran wrap, so you don't even have to leave the saran wrap in there. So you can make them clear if you want. You can make them crystal clear ghosts and just add the 2 little dots for the eyes, as I'm doing here. And it's like, I decided to use paint. I do seal it once again with a little bit of clear resin, not too much, but just a little clear resin so that it doesn't fall off or just, get damaged or anyway. So the little tiny dotted eyes, this was the hardest part. I'm telling you, this was the hardest part for me because I was so nervous. I was like, I don't want to mess up their little eyes. They are so cute. I have fell in love with them. Then all you do is poke a hole at the top and make it into your jewelry, any kind of jewelry that you want. Now, I used first this type of I just decided to use regular wire. It was easier to use thinner wire, believe it or not. So that's all I'm doing is I'm wiring up the little ghost to my hook earrings, and that's so simple. And they actually sell this stuff at the Dollar Tree in a little kit, so you can buy it in silver and gold, and that's all you need to make your own little ghost jewelry. So I hope you like this. I hope this inspires you to try out a little resin project just like this. And I think they're going to look, so I can't wait to wear them. I might wear them already because they're just so adorable. I want to make another one that has a little sign that says boo. I don't know. I'll figure some more things that I can create for this Halloween season coming soon. This next item, I want to find a way to make it wearable somehow because I just fell in love with it. So what I'm doing is I'm using the cabochon mold, and I'm going to create, I guess, spheres. So one larger sphere and another smaller sphere, and I'm just gonna see if you can guess what I'm creating, because I really felt like a mad scientist with all the resin and the UV light and all that stuff. And this UV resin, I'm telling you, you're gonna get hooked because it is so fun to use, and especially when you think, oh, I can create jewelry with this? Yes, thank you very much. And of course, you have to use your UV resin light to make sure that it cures, and it cures quickly. Within 2 minutes you have your resin cured. Now, do you have an idea of what I'm creating? And I was like, are these spider legs? I don't know. So don't get confused, and I'm sorry about the mold. I had this mold, I bought it a while ago. It was on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just using the back of it to create my little legs. Can you guess what it is? And what I did here was I took the UV resin and put it in that clear bottle with a thinner needle nose. Now, I should have covered the bottle with black paint. I do cover it later. You'll see later that I do have it covered because the UV resin light can affect it if it's in a clear bottle. So I tried to keep it away from the light while I was using it. Now, all I'm doing here, as you can see, I cured the legs, and now I'm just using my little Cricut tool to pull them off and put them there on top of my cardboard. And I'm so sorry that it's hard to see because, of course, they're clear. Now, there's the bigger sphere, and I'm going to add the little sphere. As you can see here, I'm just using a little bit of the UV resin glue as glue. You can use it as glue. And instead of using E6000 or anything, if you're going to glue resin to resin, I would suggest using resin, especially clear resin, and it does cure so quickly. You'll see here that I can just let it go and let it cure on its own. So my little spider lady, I guess I can call her Crystal. She's going to be a crystal spider. She is going to get her little leggies added in just a moment. And here you'll see they're very delicate and fiddly. For this reason, I had to take off my gloves because I couldn't hold on to the resin, and my fingers weren't touching the resin per se, just the resin products that I had already created. So because I was using such a little amount of resin, I didn't mind not having my hands gloved at that moment. But as you can see, I'm literally putting a dot of resin and immediately placing the little legs so that I can create my beautiful little crystal spider. I love this. Now, I think this was a tutorial by Let's Resin, and it was a short, and I was just so inspired. I said, I need this. I must have a crystal. Don't we all need a crystal spider? I think so. I think we all need a crystal spider, and this is she. But I want to figure a way. I might have to use wire to make the little resin legs a little more, I don't know, just durable. Because if I would wear this as a pin, I want to make sure that, God forbid, if I drop it or anything, the little legs won't just fall apart. So here she is. Oh my goodness, she is adorable. Now I'm adding a little more of the clear resin to my little resin bottle to create a little web. Now I'm messy and I'm sorry, maybe I should have drawn the web out beforehand, and again I apologize. I know you can see the little locks and keys, and I am going to use this at another time, but for now I just wanted to use it as a backing for my web creation. Look at that. Oh, I love that. And you can add glitter, you can add anything you like. Look at how gorgeous she is. I love that one. And I said, oh, I need to frame her. So I decided to frame her using some grabby backdrops. Look at this beautiful, like, I don't know, it's Victorian, it's dark academia, and I thought that would be perfect for this little spider to really pop. And I thought this was beautiful. So once again, thanks to Grabby. I have information about them down below as well. I'm using everything for this Halloween tutorial here. And there you see the backdrop. So pretty. And all I'm going to do is glue that little crystal web on top. And of course, crystal is going to be just below it. And I think this looks so stunning. It's almost like those, you know, when they have those butterflies and stuff. Well, this is a spider who's created her own frame because she decided to build her web there and just be a featured work of art in this lovely dark academia home. I love this. I can't wait to have this. Well, I already have it displayed. I'm not going to wait for Halloween. No. It's displayed already. I love this so much. I hope you did too. Now back to the spooky ghosts. In the same way that I created the little ghost for my earrings, I decided to create a cabochon, I guess, or a medallion with a ghost. Look how cute this is gonna be. Oh my gosh, I love this. I hadn't seen anybody else do it yet, so if you see it online, I mean, okay, but I just came up with this myself because I wanted to have a little ghosty necklace, and I thought this was the best way to do it. Now, one of the suggestions that Daniel always says is to heat your resin beforehand to make sure that there aren't any bubbles. So that's what I was doing there. Of course, I cured it because I wanted to have a little support for my little ghosty. Now, I remembered to I almost forgot to put the little eyes. That would have been a mess. But I did put the little eyes, and now I'm trying to get that cute little fiddly thing into my cabochon. And it was not cooperating at first, but little by little, I just got it in there. And I want it to float, literally float in this wonderful clear resin. So here I'm going to cure it once again with the UV light. And there you can see. Now what I added to this was a little bit of this iridescent mica powder in silver. I think it's silver or green. And it's just to add a little spookiness around my little ghost. Now I'm going to double up and make the front side of my cabochon. And all I'm going to do is fill the same way that I filled that first mold. Now I'm filling the second mold, and I'm going to pop the front of my little ghost into this cabochon, a nice clear cabochon. And I did put a little bit of the resin just to make sure that I wouldn't have any bubbles. I wanted to make sure that that ghost was covered in resin. There was a little bit of overflow, but that's fine. I was able to sand that down. Daniel taught me that as well, is you can sand your resin down. And there you can see I'm sanding the sides down, so it looked a little nicer. Now, after handling the mold, the cabochon or the ghost, medallion here, it got a little cloudy, and the way to clear that up is just to dunk it into the UV resin and cure it, and it just becomes crystal clear. It's so beautiful. And I just added a little skewer just to be able to dip it into the clear resin. Now I'm using IOD's cloche mold from the holidays, and I'm using the Fast Cure clear resin. But now that's been cured. It's been there for a while, for over 5 hours. And now I'm going to use UV resin together with my cloche mold. Can you imagine what I'm creating? Of course you can. It's spooky. It's cute. It's a spooky, cute little ghosty that I decided to add to this already cured clear resin. Now I didn't fill the resin mold all the way to the top because I knew I was going to add a little bit of, I guess, spooky artwork, resin artwork, as you'd like to say. And what I'm doing is I'm building up the little ghosty first, so it has almost a 3D effect within the cloche, and I absolutely love this. Now, once it's cured and I added a little bit more of the resin, as you can see here, I'm going to add a backdrop. I also decided to create even another little cloche resin. Now, there's nothing more fun than releasing your mold from the mold, releasing your mold, your project from the mold. And now that I have this, I'm going to get a backdrop that would be perfect for my little ghosty. Now, all of these backdrops, again, were from my Halloween grabby box from last year. I save all of my stuff. And what I love about having Halloween papers around all year long is you can, whenever you get inspired to do some Halloween project crafting, you can do so. Now I'm using Fusion decoupage and transfer gel. I feel that it leaves a less cloudy residue, and I get mine from L&J Goods. So little shout out to L&J Goods here too. I'm shouting out everybody, aren't I? Yes, all my special friends. So here I'm just adding that little decoupage paper, and now I'm using that same transfer gel on top of the cloche mold. Now that clears it up a little bit, but I'm going to show you another trick afterwards. But this is a great step to take before you start painting the bottom of your cloche. Of course, I'm going to use black, and this again can be a dark academia kind of look as well. But I always like to have some kind of medium on top of that clear resin so that the paint doesn't stick to it. It's very easy to wipe off. Now, once I have that all done, of course, I'm going to use some antique gold so you can see all of those wonderful details of the design of that cloche mold. I absolutely love these molds. If you didn't get it, hopefully you can find an IOD representative. Again, I get my IOD products from L&J Goods, but I absolutely love the cloche mold. It's so versatile for so many different seasons. Now, once that's done, what I do for an extra bit of crystal clear look on my resin, I'm going to use my UV resin once again, and that truly makes it look like glass, and I absolutely love the results. For that second cloche, I'm going to use a witch's hat once again from my Halloween grabby box. And I'm so glad that I always keep those Halloween paper products out because I can craft any time of the year with Halloween. So this witch's hat was very elegant and had touches of purple and pink, and I just thought it was perfect for this cloche mold. So once I cured the back of it with that clear, instead of using the decoupage medium, I decided to try out the UV resin as my medium for decoupaging that little witch's hat. Because it was see-through, I didn't want the witch's hat is like a clear sticker. I wanted to test it out with the UV resin, the clear resin. Once again, I am decorating or painting the decoration of the cloche at the bottom with some black paint, and I'm going to use dragonfly paint from Plaid. And I absolutely love this iridescent look, and it's purple with a little bit of blue to match the purple that is in the witch's hat. And I think it's a different take on using any kind of gold or metallic paint. These iridescent paints are fantastic. Once again, I'm using the UV resin on top. Look at this. It's like magic. Literally, it's like Halloween magic because it makes it look like crystal clear glass once you go over the mold. For some reason, because the mold is dark, when you use clear resin, it comes out a little cloudy. So the best way to get rid of that is either using a decoupage medium or to use, or like a gloss medium, or to use clear crystal resin. And I think this is the best way, is using UV resin. Truly beautiful. Now again, I'm using my heat gun or my heat element to get rid of any bubbles, to make sure that it's all filled in, and then I'm going to use my UV lamp once again to cure it, and in seconds it is done. I'm checking to make sure, and there you have it, another beautiful cloche for Halloween decor. I love it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you might have seen me use my Creality Falcon wood cutter, laser cutter, to create this stained glass. Now, to create a real stained glass window, I am using my UV resin. You can see there I was using my heat gun to heat the bottle. As you can notice, the bottle is in black so that the UV lights does not affect it. Now, let's have fun with colors, and using the colors from Let's Resin, I'm going to create a stained glass window. Now, I should have used resin tape. I didn't have resin tape, so I just decided to use packing tape. Did it work? No. I mean, it did kind of, because it looks really pretty from the front, but when you take the tape off, it leaves a sticky residue, whereas UV resin tape, or resin tape, doesn't do that. So I bought myself some resin tape so that I can have to make, some, I would love to create, imagine this is smaller, but as earrings. Yes, I want to create some stained glass earrings. I think that's crazy, or at least a medallion. I think a medallion would be beautiful. So I would love to do that. So all I'm doing here is literally like gel painting the stained glass window. And I love the fact that you can use a brush to not brush on, I would say to dip and drop the resin into the different places of the stained glass window. As you see, I'm just dipping and dropping. And that's basically what I'm doing. So it doesn't leave any kind of brush strokes. But I think this really turned out so beautiful. Again, I kind of, previewed this, or gave you a sneak peek a couple of weeks ago. So now you can see the whole process of how I created this stained glass window. And I absolutely love it. So imagine there are many items that you can get at Dollar Tree that have cutouts and such, and you can fill them in just like this. But to make this spooky ooky, I am going to paint the actual wood so that it looks a little more gothic. And I think this is a beautiful wall hanging for Halloween, or any time of year, but specifically for Halloween. I think this really makes a nice effect. And I'd like to put it on a pedestal, or on a wood plank, so that I can put a candle behind it and it could light through that gothic window. I hope you like this as well. Thank you again to Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling and Monica of Up All Night DIY. And when I say they are my deep, special friends, they are my tribe, and I love these ladies. So I was more than happy to be part of their playlist. So please check out their channels as well as every channel that's part of this It's Always Halloween playlist. There's wonderful inspiration for Halloween that's just around the corner. Thanks again for stopping by, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and live the adventure. Come back for more spooky adventures with my Junoween playlist right around the corner. See you soon.